All right, here we go. All right, let's go, you guys. Again, I want you guys taking notes. All right, here's the problem. The problem is we can't find deals. Most investors fail because they never talk to sellers. This challenge is going to solve that. And so we don't talk to sellers. We don't talk to motivated sellers primarily because we don't know how to find them. And so I'm going to show you guys how to find some sellers. I get deals, I get leads every single day. There's not a day goes by that I don't get not a deal but a lead. I'll just say a lead. And I primarily get a lot of my leads, and I want you guys to write this down as number one through networking. I let everybody that I know that I'm a real estate investor. Everybody on here, you are a real estate investor. You know how to put deals together. You may or may not know how to even write contracts or have the money to buy a property, but you can certainly wholesale. And if you find a potential deal um, from a great lead, I'm going to walk you through that process. Like you have resources. You are not on your by yourself. You are not on your own, so that cannot be your excuse. But I will also start off saying that if you follow what we talk about, and I have some of my coaching students on here, my platinum coaching students, including Luis, who I just talked to, and they just follow the process. They trust the process. And I saw Michael on here. I think Angela was on here. Um, Luis, and maybe one or two more. They've trusted the process, and they've sold some houses within the last year. So you just got to trust the process, and the process works. And then you've got to be very diligent, you guys. You got to be very, very diligent um, throughout the whole process. All right. What we'll learn, we're going to learn where the deals come from. I'll talk about free and paid ways to find motivated sellers. We'll talk about some scripts, some texting, and messaging. I'll let Keith talk about some scripts in a minute. How to track your leads, and then the challenge, our 7-day challenge. All right. What's a deal? What's a deal? A deal is a property um, a seller is willing to sell at a discount because of some type of condition, property condition, financial distress. Um, Lots of landlords, on average, own their properties 5 years, 5 to 6 years. They're just tired of being a landlord. The three T's: tenants, toilets, and termites. Tired of dealing with them. Life changes. They inherit houses. I got a call today. Someone's selling that. They just inherited this house and want to sell it right away. And then vacancies. Oftentimes, landlords will own a house and it's just vacant. Um, but a lot of the time, it's financial distress. A lot of the time, and so we've got to find a motivated seller and find out the why. Why do you want to sell the property? And then figure out a solution for them. Is it just to help them? Some are living in the property and they want to sell, but they don't have a place to move to. And so we've got to figure that out sometimes. All right, what qualifies for a lead? A lead is not an address. A qualified lead we want to find someone that um, we can get the seller's name, phone number, having a real conversation with them and their selling interests. They'll consider an offer at the right price. That's a qualified lead. They'll consider an offer at the right price. So we want to be able to talk to people. And obviously, it's a numbers game. The more you talk to people, the better the odds are on you actually getting them to sign a contract. And so I want us to find qualified leads. That's my challenge to you, to find 5 qualified leads where you're having conversations with motivated sellers. The 7-day challenge, your mission is to get 5 qualified seller leads using 2 or more of the strategies that I'm going to talk about. And so I'm going to write them down as we talk about them. I already just said networking. And so networking is a great way of finding deals, letting people know that this is what you do. And then I'm going to have a follow-up meeting next week. I want you to bring those leads or call me, text me. I'll have all my information in the end to let me know you found those leads. And then we take the next step forward on trying to close those leads into making money. Wholesalers nowadays are making 10, 15, $20,000 a deal. Flippers are making about $100,000 a deal. I encourage most of my investors to buy and hold. I want them holding for long-term wealth, and they're starting off with great cash flow, five, six, $700 a month in cash flow, 50 to $100,000 in equity. And so that's what a good lead can lead to is a great way of building wealth for yourselves and for your family. I like to talk about driving for dollars because it's just effort. It's just effort. So as another strategy, I want you to write down D for D, driving for dollars. And the reason why driving for dollars is so important is because if you have a low budget, it's just gas money. I would recommend doing it once a week for an hour. I would also recommend for on driving for dollars, trying to get about 20 to 30 homes. You're to get 20 or 30 homes that look to be vacant properties with no activities, board ups, overgrown grass, tarps on the roof, or visible damage, or if the exterior of the house needs to look like, looks like it needs a lot of repairs. Notices posted on the front door and piled up mail or newspapers. Those properties look to be vacant or abandoned. Those make for good properties that you're just simply writing down the addresses. Now you can use a tool like Deal Machine to and it's an app. You just put the app in your phone, Deal Machine, and you put the address in, and then Deal Machine will give you, well, not only give you the name and the phone number because it skip traces, the phone number of the homeowner. It'll also send a postcard to them, all in real time. And so that's why a lot of people go driving for dollars as a marketing strategy. It's something that you guys can do tomorrow. One of our platinum coaching students, Dana, who who's recently flipping a property with another coaching student and have probably bought, I don't know, I'm just telling all of Dana's business since he's not on here. Probably at least four, he's done about 4 or 5 deals in the last 2 years. He's bought and held, did some wholesaling, actually wholesaled a property to me that I still have. And now he's flipping. His primary source of lead generation is driving for dollars. And it's driving for dollars because he's the type of job that he has. He has his own business, but he's out in the field. He's going from house to house. He's a contractor, does plumbing and HVAC. And so he's just out. And so while he's going to his next job, his eye is open to houses that look to be vacant or abandoned, and he's just working them, writing down the addresses. He skip tracing to get the phone numbers, and on his breaks, he's calling. And then he's following up, and he's calling and following up. I think it was like the first year he was with us, and this was actually 3 or 4 years ago. He probably wholesaled 2 or 3 properties that year. He bought a property at an auction. Um, he bought 2 houses on the same street, just driving for dollars. You guys, just driving for dollars. but his mindset was, I'm going to find me a property, and that's what he did. And as I go through these, you guys, if you have any questions, just let me know. Another strategy, I just write landlords. So I'm writing these down. Landlords are a great source. Landlords are a great source. So I'm going to go to PropWire. Uh, Most of you guys should know PropWire by now because I talk about it all the time. If you're not familiar with PropWire, or if you don't have an account with PropWire, you can get one tonight. It's free. So this is free. So I'm gonna log into my PropWire account. I know my platinum coaching students have this. And you can get all the landlords in any area you want. And so let's say we're looking for landlords in Fort Washington, 20744. We've got almost 20,000 there that we, for free, it's free, we can download this list free of charge. All this is free. Um, but let's just say that I want to narrow this down to landlords. And so my favorite list is absentee owners, owners that own the property, but they don't live in the property. The house is either rented out or is vacant or abandoned. And I like my landlords to be out of state. They're more apt to sell the property than in state. And so that's my favorite list. And so if I down here in the lower right hand corner, if I save this, it narrows it down to 1,200. Now, with this list of 1,200, I've got Fort Washington, and then I've got landlords and landlords, out-of-state landlords. That's all I have. Now, I can search on all of these as well. Um, Empty nesters, properties that were flipped, failed MLS, and I'll talk about that later. Pre-foreclosures. If I wanted pre-foreclosures in a certain zip code, I can click here on pre-foreclosures, which is my second favorite list, pre-foreclosures. So you can play with this. Property types, price range, bedrooms and bathrooms. Now, let's just say that you're looking in Fort Washington. I was actually in Fort Washington today. I've got a list of 1,200. I can save the search. I can go here, click here, and I can download the list. It downloads to a CSV file, and then you can do postcards, mail out postcards with the list, or in PropWire, you can hit skip trace, and it'll skip trace that list for you and give you all the phone numbers if you want to call. You want to call or text, with a script, you can do so um, with this list right here. You can do so with this list. Now, if you were to call, hey Keith, give us a quick script if they were to call this list in Fort Washington. What's a quick script for them?
Is this the pre-foreclosures or landlords, right?
Yeah, these are landlords.
Yeah, so ring, ring, ring. Hello. Hi, this is just Keith. I'm a local investor here in Fort Washington. I'm holding a copy of your property records for your property at whatever that property is, 123 Main Street. I've got a cash buyer that's interested in presenting you with a cash offer.
That's all it is. Are you interested in I'm a real estate investor, and I'm calling to see if you're interested in a cash offer. I want everybody to practice that. Um, that's your script. Now, if they say yes, I'd like a cash offer, we can either make a cash offer in real time or you can schedule an appointment. And either myself, if you don't feel comfortable going by yourself, you can send me or we can go together. However you want to do it is fine with me.
Hey,
Or I
Greg,
can,
if I can add something to that, just a little bit to that. So the script that you and I just said, That's kind of a bulletproof script. You guys got to understand that these people, they're not just getting calls from us. They're getting calls from people in solar, final expense, home improvement. So if we sound like everyone else sounds, then we're kind of lessening our chances. That's why it's kind of good to kind of add just a little bit to it. I'm holding a copy of your property records. That's something that you could say, but we just can't sound. And then there's something to do with our voice and tone. We can't just sound like a robot. Um, Hi, I'm Keith Bennett. I'm a local investor in the area. So I say all that to say that every Wednesday night we go through our paces in the call center classes, and I would highly encourage you guys to be on there, not just for lecture, but to role play as well.
Any questions here, you guys? Because this is a great way to get in front of motivated sellers because these are your motivated sellers. These are your motivated sellers. And so if I wanted to change the area, I know Joseph likes Temple Hills, which I think is 20748. Here's his list. This is his list right here. So 20748, I still have the absentee owners that are out of state. Joseph may not like that. He may want a different filter. And so he can put whatever he wants, but within Temple Hills and these two filters right here, absentee owner out of state, we've got 723 results. He can download them. He can skip trace them, um, and just go through the list. Now, you may or may not be one that is good or can be consistent calling. Sometimes I can, um, and sometimes I can't. And so I just don't, it's just all a mindset. And so, but most of the times when I put my mind to it, I'm grinding. I'm calling. You can use a dialer to call, and we have dialers that will dial for you. You upload the list, the skip trace list, and they'll dial for you. Um, or you can dial yourself. And the key is the follow up. Hopefully, I say to follow up at least 10 times tonight. But we say the fortune is in the follow up. You've got to keep following up, keep calling the same list. Keith, how often should they call the list?
At least 7 to 8 touches.
Okay.
And another thing, Greg, I would like to share, when you guys are making those calls, if you get an answer like, I'm not selling right now, in my mind, that's beautiful to hear. Not now. That's your sign. You got to start following up now.
And so you want to put them, hopefully you're using a CRM and you're putting them on a list, or you're tagging them, or you're using a spreadsheet that tells you when you should call them. If they say, um, call me back in 30 days or whatever, you want to make sure that you make note of that. You want to make sure that you make note of that. And so here's a copy of this is one of our spreadsheets right here, where we have the lead type, address, phone name, email, and then the follow-up, and then in-person appointment, and then call appointment, and then notes. And so we have this, so we know for each person when it's time to follow up. When it's time to follow up, we know that because we've created this spreadsheet for a lot of our leads, and we take really good notes here so that, and you don't have to use a spreadsheet. I would highly recommend it, but we just take good notes here so that we know when it's time to follow up. Because I will tell you, as an example, on this list right here, we've got about 100 people on here. If we do a good job with this list, and this is just a list that we're following up, there's at least I'll say 5 to 10 um, good deals on here that are going to close, that we're going to either get the wholesale, flip, or even buy and hold. Like this one right here, number 9, this is a buy and hold. I'm just waiting for her to find a place to move to. And we've already talked about doing a subject to. Well, she's just going to let me take over her mortgage. And I had a call with her this week. She started off, I don't see the date here, but I met with her a couple months ago. And so this is a deal. There's 5 to 10, but we've got to do a good job. Just keep to following up, following up, following up. And we do it every day. And that's how important it is. It's so important also that we have a virtual assistant following up on this and some other lists. And just look at everyone's got some type of notes here. And this is what you've got to do. And I just know like this one on Gale Street. Is this the one that you went to, Keith? And were supposed to have a cup of coffee?
Yep. I didn't get the coffee, but he's really interested and he wants us to follow up in, a month or so.
He promised me that he was going to have a cup of coffee for you.
That's the only reason I went, but it was real a letdown. But it all worked out in the end. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. All right. Any questions so far, you guys?
Yes. Quick question. I missed the first and two lead sources. I did see the code violations.
Okay.
Okay.
Just wanna-
Um, Give me a second. I don't know what to do with my PowerPoint. Let me find it real quick. Okay. So I've got networking.
Okay.
I've got driving for dollars,
$1,000.
and then landlords.
Okay.
All right. So code violations. I want you guys to write down code violations slash courthouse data. At the courthouse is a gold mine for real estate investors. Would you agree with that, Travis?
I would agree.
Okay. It really is because you do have code violations there that you can look up. There's also websites that you can go in a lot of jurisdictions and get the code violations. But also at the courthouse, you've got probate there um, to get the probate information. And you guys, so write that down, you guys. And so we've got code violations at the courthouse, and we've got probate there. Now, I know that you guys have heard me say that the leads that make the most money are probate deals.
Huh?
If you're a wholesaler, you're going to make a bigger spread or more money, a bigger wholesale fee on a probate deal than any other deal. Because as the baby boomers are dying, 80% of them own real estate. And then of the 80% that own the real estate, 70% own that real estate free and clear of any mortgages. So no mortgages. Their heirs, the Gen Xers, which is the poorest generation. Baby boomers are the richest generation. Gen Xers are the poorest. They're inheriting the houses, or they're the personal representatives or the executors of the estates of these houses, and they're selling them right away. They can't afford to keep them. They need the money. They've got, student loans and things like that. So they're selling at a huge discount. 50 cents on a dollar, 40 cents on a dollar. on probate deals. So it's up to you to just to be able to negotiate with them. Couple, myself and a couple of my students have gotten, and these are not normal, but six-figure wholesale um, payment days where they made six figures in 2 weeks on a probate deal, primarily in DC. But you can do that on probate. And so you can get that at the courthouse. And so courthouse data, so probate is good to go after. Divorce or divorce attorneys, and you can find them at the courthouse. When you file for divorce. Auctions. You can go to the courthouse, and in every jurisdiction across the United States, at least 1 or 2 days a week, there's an auction at the courthouse. Now, fortunately for us, between DC, Prince George's County, every jurisdiction, including Baltimore, we've got auctions every single day, and most of them are online. We don't even have to go to the courthouse, they're online. Some of them do. In the DMV, you can just go to alexcooper.com to find the foreclosures that are at the courthouse steps. But we have a ton of auctions everywhere, every day, more than one every day for us. And all of our students bought properties at the auction. I've bought properties at the auction and many others. But not only that, I want you guys to also write down tax foreclosure auctions. Um, in my opinion, uh, outside of probate, tax foreclosure auctions and those properties are the best deals you can get. The best. Talk about pennies on the dollar. You're just basically paying for the taxes. Go ahead, Luis.
I'm sorry, I was going to keep my hand up. When you say this tax sale, is this like a permanent tax sale? It's not like a tax lien, right? It's just like a you're buying someone's. How does that work out? The one what you're talking about right now? How does that work?
You remember in was it May? I thought you were part of the group that took the classes, and I know as a group we went and looked at a lot of the foreclosures one day. But yeah, people are delinquent on their property taxes. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, got you. Thanks.
And you can just find just great deals there. Generally once a year, but most of them are in May or June in our area. If a property goes to tax auction and nobody buys it, they also sell the surplus, what they call over the counter, in around October. Go ahead, Travis.
I just wanted to add on to those probate deals you were talking about. I'm actually working on a little over 10 probate deals right now. I'm very consistent with making the calls, and I also go to the courthouse just to speak to people, have conversations, build a network, and get those deals. So I just wanted to verify, have you've been great with giving the advice to go after those probate deals, and it does work.
Yeah, definitely. I want you guys to use the courthouse as a gold mine. We used to take field trips to the courthouse, and I would show everybody the different floors and different rooms to go to get the information. And so auctions, we do great at the auctions. There's deals at the auction every single day, you guys. And so you want to look up the auctions. I'll just off the top of my head, in our area, I'll try to name five. So we got Ashland Auctions, we have AJ Billig, we have Alex Cooper, auction.com, and Hubzu. And on all of them that I just mentioned, all of them, I've bought houses. We've bought houses as a community. We've bought houses in all of those areas. Dana, I mentioned earlier, bought one off of Ashton Auctions. I've bought off of Alex Cooper, Ashton Auctions, and Hubzu, and so on and so forth. And so auctions work. You've got to know your numbers. I'm going to go over the numbers in a minute, what really constitutes the deal. Um, but
Hey,
auctions
hey,
work.
Greg. Hey, real quick, just so you know. So tomorrow, I've set an appointment for a guy, and his biggest issue is he knows it has to go through probate, and he just kind of doesn't know the steps. And so I was talking to him, and I could tell that when you after you talk to him that you'll probably be in a situation to help him get that squared away and maybe ultimately get that deal.
Yeah, and so the process is he just has to go down to the probate office and open up what's called an estate. And then he's got to get appointed the personal representative. And so there's nothing that you can do until he's appointed. And so the contract date has to be a date after the date that he's appointed. Now, what I would do, what I used to do, and I shouldn't be recording this. I should turn off the recorder, but I would just go ahead and get them to sign a contract because I wanted them to feel like they were locked into me. So we would sign a contract, and then once he got his papers that he's appointed, go ahead and redo the contract and lock them in again. And then so they can conduct business once they're appointed, but it's not until they get what's called their letters of administration that they can actually sell the property. So he's got to get and all that, depending on the jurisdiction, takes, I don't know, sometimes 2 months, sometimes longer than that. But so I will tell him tomorrow that he's got to go and open up an estate, and I've, depending on where he is, I've gone down to the probate office with them to help them open up the estate. There's a lot of paperwork, but I've done it a number of times. Plus, it gives me an opportunity to bond with them because he's going to be getting bombarded with phone calls. He's going to get bombarded with postcards and letters because once he goes to the probate office and opens up the estate, there's one form, there's a bunch of paperwork, but there's one form. Um, it's the notice to creditors, and it's mandatory for him as the PR, personal representative, to put his name, his phone number. I don't think he has to put his email address, but we'll get his name, phone number, and address so
And,
that it's mandatory. He has to put it there just in case there's a creditor that the deceased owes money to. Well, we use that for our purposes as investors to get the information to contact the personal representative to try to negotiate with them, either through calling them, sending them letters, with a lot of sympathy, that kind of thing. And all that's public information. It's mandatory on a probate. It's mandatory for it to be posted in a legal newspaper for 3 consecutive weeks. That's mandatory. And so if you get the legal paper, and then some sites will just pull that information, like foreclosuresdaily.com. You can get probate lists there. And there used to be people who would sell the list, would go to the probate office and sell the list. One of my agents, actually, she used to do it. I don't know that she still does it. All right. Any questions about code violations or anything else at the probate office? I like auctions, obviously probate. Um, we've gotten lots of deals from divorce attorneys. Um, and so that's a gold mine where you put yourself right in front of the motivated seller. For sell by owners and for rent, and I'm going to add MLS. Um, these are great targets too. You can find for sell by owners on Zillow, Facebook Marketplace. They used to put a lot of their ads on Craigslist. Um, and so they're great targets. But for the real estate agents out here, I also like the MLS. And there's a number of different, and I'm showing you the MLS, but this you can get this if you don't have the MLS, you can just go to what's it called? It's not Red. Yeah, Redfin. You can just go to Redfin to get and do the same thing that I'm getting ready to do. So the gold mines are on the MLS, so you can go to Redfin, are expired listings. So if I wanted to work the expireds in a certain area, I would put in, let's stick with Fort Washington. So in Fort Washington, 20744, in the last 180 days, 55 properties have expired. And so these listings right here have expired. And so what I would do if I focused on Fort Washington as an example, I would choose all of these and then I would come over here and just create a list. I forget which one it is. I think it's property history or public record. I think it's custom. And that's not it. But anyway, you can get the list. And I apologize. I should have I forget which one it is. But you can get a list of all of these to a CSV file, and then you can either skip trace and call them or send them a letter or postcard. These are expired listings. So expired listings are a great way um, if you're a realtor. Another way that we use the MLS is active listings, but stale. So if I wanted stale listings, a stale listing is an active listing that's been on the market for at least 30 days. And let's just say it's in Temple Hills, 20748. I want the stale listings. So they've been on the market for at least 30 days. And so these are all the ones that's been on the market for at least 30 days. I'm gonna hit on the word price to put them in order. And so this is right here, the first one, it's on the market for 119. So I'm gonna go here. This looks like a condo. I tend to stay away from condos, to be honest, so I'm not gonna look this one up. Let's see.
A condo is harder to sell.
Yeah, they're harder to sell. You can list them, so you can definitely list these. All right, so this one's 155. So this one is 155. It's a townhouse. And it's been on the market. It actually has been on the market for 156 days. So if you're a realtor, you see this, still hasn't sold. I would I would um I would want to pull the comps on this one and then make them an offer. I think somebody should make an offer on this one. So this one they're on the oh, this is a condo too, but this one's been on the market for 156 days. This is a good opportunity. Let me change the criteria where I get less condos. Let's say Fort Washington. We've got 55 what I call stale listings. I'm gonna put them in order of price. This one's 129. This one probably just from knowing Fort Washington, would I would probably offer maybe it's been on the market for 130 days. Still hasn't sold. It's on the market for 130. It started at 156. So this would be an opportunity to make an offer. Now, let me do this real quick. What I would do is I would go to the MLS and I would run my comps. So now I'm looking for closed deals that are like kind to that property. And so closed, um, it's 721 square feet, which is small. It's fee simple, has land, is detached. I'm just gonna put 1,000 square feet or less. I'm gonna put Fort Washington. There's three. Let's see what we got. One sold for 400, 400 and 410. Let's see what this is. Okay. So this might be a good comp. But for purposes of this exercise, let's say it's a good comp. We got 400 and we got 410. Just renovate it. Yeah. I tend not to take the highest. So I'm going to take the second highest, which is 400. You guys with me? So I'm going to say this is my comp, my ARV, my after repair value. If I was to take you guys go to your calculator. I want you to run the comps with me to see if this is a deal. So at 400,000, we're going to multiply by 70% equals 280, and minus, I'm going to put 80,000. I'm going to put 80,000 as the rehab cost. So the Mayo formula is after repair value times 70% minus repair cost. In this case, we got 200, which is our Mayo, our maximum allowable offer. Something's going on with this property because at 129 or 130, no one's making an offer. And so what I would do, since it's already below our Mayo, I would probably offer them maybe 120, 120 and try to renovate it to um and to have it look similar to these two right here. Or have a cash buyer. So if I'm a wholesaler, I'm putting this property under contract, I'm calling the agent and putting it and sending in an offer on this one. Here's another property for 175 in Fort Washington. It's been on the market for 109 days. Started at 259. So this one started at 259 and it's at 175 now. This is on the MLS. Looks like a shack. Something's going on with it. Doesn't look like a bad sized house. You'd want to go and take a look at this. Oh, a tree fell on this house. Nobody wants it. I don't know. You might be able to get this one for like 100,000. Looks like a tree fell on that property. You've got this one at 280 on Bach Road. Started at 299. It's been on the market for 93 days. So I would get my after repair value. Let's just say it's 400, and then I would make them an offer probably closer to 200, 220 on this one. And it's about making offers. You guys, we've got to make offers. Now, we may offer 200 on this and they may not accept it. But maybe the next time, maybe we follow up. I had someone call me last month about an offer I made back in April. And they said, "You remember that offer you made on this house in April? Well, we'll take it now." And so you just never know. So so the MLS, in my opinion, is a gold mine. It's a gold mine where you can look for deals every single day. And you may say, well, I don't have access to the MLS. Redfin, you can do the same exact thing on Redfin that I just did. You can do it on the MLS. All right. Any questions so far, you guys? All right. Um,
Hey, Greg,
hold, go ahead.
I'm sorry I couldn't unmute quick enough. But the property with the tree up, you said the house, tree fell on the house. Would you, just looking at that condition of it, would you even go out and look at it? You think it would be worth it?
Yeah, I do. Only because
See,
you got to really sometimes, most times, put your eyes on it.
gotcha,
And so you got to put your eyes on this and then sit back and figure out, how can I make this deal work?
gotcha. Okay.
Like, what's the repair cost? Obviously, you got to remove the trees, right? So what's
Right.
that going to cost? And then once you remove the trees, then it's just another house that needs renovation. Now, this one might need, I don't know, 150,000, 100,000, whatever that is. But what I like about this one is people will see the tree on the house and not want to deal with it. Like
Mhm.
people will see mold and not want to deal with it. But that's why we say mold is gold, because most people don't want to deal with mold. People will see this tree, and what I see, to be honest, is the tree just needs to be removed. What's the cost of that?
Mhm.
And then once the tree is removed, I've got to put on a new roof. And so it's subroof, it's shingles. Hopefully the rafters are okay. And I may have needed to put on a new roof anyway. And it looks like it needs a lot of landscaping. Looks like it needs new windows. I don't know if there's any interior pictures or not. And so all this up here is because of the roof. I mean, it just needs a full renovation.
Gotcha.
And so if you can buy this one, what's it on the market for? 175. You would probably need to buy this one for about, let's work backwards. Let's say after repair value on this one. Let me see what the tax record is. Tax tax assessment is set is 278. I'm thinking ARV is around 400, 425. Let's say 425 times 70% minus, let's see, 150. I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, you could equals 147, but I don't think I would offer 147. I probably would offer like 120, 130. Put it under contract, and trust me, even if you wanted to wholesale this deal right here, there's investors who are thinking like I'm thinking that would buy this property.
Gotcha.
This needs a lot of good landscaping, probably more than just those trees to come down. And so sometimes you've got to be creative and try to see what everybody else um, don't see. All right. Strategy number 5 on deals is we talk a lot about JVing on wholesale deals. Um, I want to take it a little step further. So we do JV, and within our community, we JV. And I've talked about this before. I want to talk about some paid ways um, of finding properties. And so um, I'm gonna go here. I speed, write this down. I speed to leads. I speed to lead, not an S at the end. I speed to lead. And so this is PPL. This is pay per lead. Now, talking about getting 5 leads in less than a week, if you go to a paid service where you're paying for leads, then and this is one of them, iSpeed to lead, then you'll get 5. You could get 5 in one day and pay, say, $29 for the lead. So you can pay for these leads. iSpeed to lead is one, and then motivated sellers. This is my account. Motivated sellers .com is another account, is another company that you can use to buy leads. And so I buy leads. And so this is actually my account. And so I get leads every so it was today the 13th. So I got a lead today, 2 leads yesterday, 2 leads the day before, and so on and so forth. And so with PPL, you can you can buy leads. And so if I was starting over and had a small budget, like a small budget, I would definitely, first thing I would do to start generating some leads is to go with PPL. And there's more companies than this. There's Lead Zolo. I think my account's going to come up. Yeah. So Lead Zolo, if you want to write this company down, these are great leads. Go ahead, Luis.
So kind of off topic, but how how do these people become leads? Like how do they become a lead? Because I'm always concerned about buying one of these leads and it was like someone was just joking with whoever was on the phone, you know what I mean?
Um, they're going to go to Google. I'm answering your question. They're going to go to Google and they're going to put something into Google like, I need to sell my house fast. My house is going to foreclosure. And then these companies come up.
Mm,
And what
got it.
some of these companies do, like this one right here, is, and so so that one right there is 1, 2, 3, the fourth one down on the first page. They click here and then they read all this stuff and then they put their information in here free of charge, right? And it says request offer. This company right here sells the lead. This is a national company. They sell the lead. So you opt in and then this company right here is this company right here, the one I showed you, motivated seller. So their site, need to sell my house fast.com, is for the consumer. They'll get the lead here and then they sell it on to investors like us here all across the country. So that's how. So a motivated seller is gonna Google what they need. My house is going to foreclosure. Can someone buy it? You know, whatever the word is or the phrase. And instead of this company taking the lead and doing something with it themselves, they sell the lead. So that you understand, that's how it works.
Makes sense.
And Luis, I would add to that. So the way Greg has it set up, half the time I'm when it comes in, I'm making that initial call, and my conversations are always good conversations.
Okay.
Because it's it's inbound marketing. And so they're opting in So they're basically, they know that we're going to call them. They're asking us to call them. So they're opting in here to this site, and there's other sites on here. I mean, I've kind of studied this, so I know which are, who are the sites. You guys have heard of Open Door, right? So Open Door is a company that they actually buy houses nationally, and we'll buy your house. So this is a PPL company. Four Brothers is a local wholesaler, big wholesaler. Some you guys probably have heard of them. So they're a wholesaler.
Hey, Greg, have you ever done business with them? Because I get a lot of
I
emails.
I haven't done business only because their prices, for me, their prices are always too high. But I've never done business with them. But I'm on their list, so I get their deals. And so what they're doing, you guys, so I want you guys to write down PPL, pay per lead. A company like Four Brothers, this is PPC, pay per click. Now, if I was to click on this, it's probably gonna cost them, I don't know, 40 or $50 if I click. And then if I fill out their information, it goes to them and they try to, so let's say I click, okay, it just cost them money. And then they want me to enter a home address. I'm just gonna enter a home address. And then it's gonna ask me for more information. Now this lead is gonna go to them for their own use. That's paid per PPC, pay per click, which you guys can get a website and do exactly what they did, but you're going to have to pay for every time somebody clicks on their site. But they're out of Virginia. They do a ton of business, and they do great business. They do great business, and they get most of their business right here, PPC, pay per click. So sell my home fast. This is another PPL. You opt in, and they're going to sell the lead. And it's all done really quickly in real time. As soon as that lead comes in, um, myself and many, many other people, whoever, they get it right away and call them right away. PPC. So write down PPC, PPL, where you can actually pay for the lead from another company, or PPC, you can put your own site up there with Google and and pay for it every time. Any questions here?
Said it's PPC, PPL.
Yeah. I'm always losing my PowerPoint. Why am I doing that?
Hey, Greg, did you say earlier that whenever you get a lead, you're the only person that gets that particular lead?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good question because sometimes they'll sell that same lead to different people. The companies that I use, um, they don't do that. All right. So we've talked about a number of different ways tonight. Um, we want to use tools to help us. And so we talked about a spreadsheet, or you can just use Google Sheets or CRM. We use a CRM as well. I would highly recommend using a CRM to track your pipeline. So we use a CRM, plus we have our spreadsheet. You can use PropStream to track your lead management. You can also use PropStream for your skip tracing. So PropStream is a full-blown CRM for the real estate investor. And so I would write down prop stream because you want to utilize some type of technology when you're looking for properties. Because where investors fail is through the follow-up. They think that investors think I can make one call, maybe two, and that's it. Um, Even with like the PPL, even though they opted in, they're opting in sometimes they're just going fishing or they're getting their mind right about selling, but they're not necessarily ready at that moment. But you just have to keep following up until they are ready. And then you've got to know the right questions and be a really good listener to see why they want to sell. Why do you want to sell, Mr. Miss Seller? Why do you want to sell? And do you have a place to move to? Do you need help with that? And so you've got to listen and then you've got to keep following up. As long as they allow you to follow up, you keep following up. But you've got to use some tools. For comping, you can also use prop stream. I'm just going to go to prop stream real quick.
And guys, just know this, that we have affiliates with PropStream and Privy and most Deal Machine. We're affiliates. So if you're interested, you can get in touch with us. We'll give you the link so that you can get your free week or whatever, get your discount, that sort of thing.
And so PropStream is a full-blown CRM for the investor. And it's going to help you with um, it's great for lead generation, but it just does much more than that. It has a deal estimator, repair estimator. Um, you can get all your leads here. So everything that's on PropWire is here on PropStream. PropWire is free. CRM PropStream is not free. It's $99 a month, but it's a full-blown CRM where you can put your contacts in here. Um, we have it. We have PropStream. You can get leads here. I would go through this. I would go to PropStream and go through it, but it's full-blown CRM. Let's see here. Am I right? Yep. All right. So I want everybody with no excuses to get 5 leads in the next week. We've talked about networking, driving for dollars, working with landlords, code violations, probate. We talked about the courthouse. Um, we went on PropWire to find homeowners, motivated sellers to build a list. And I showed you guys how to skip trace to get phone numbers if we just want to make calls every day. We talked about the tax foreclosure auctions and all the other auctions, the MLS or Redfin, PPC, PPL, networking. We talked about a number of ways. Pick two, pick one or two, pick two, and just focus, really focus for the next 7 days. And if it's calling, then do your calling. Pull your list out of PropWire and make your calls. Know how to go out in the field, and we're doing some field training. I'll get to that in a minute, but we're doing some field training on Saturday, and that I want to invite everyone because I'm going to show you guys on Saturday how to find the properties, actually go out in the field and evaluate repair costs. We're going to do the Mayo formula out in the field, all in real time on Saturday. So get your 5 leads. I want you guys to report your progress. And I've got with no excuses. I do want you to take action. And if you're able to do that and document it, I've got a great surprise for you guys. So your 7-day plan starts tomorrow. Pick your primary strategy. Collect 25 seller leads. Start calling or texting them. follow up, follow up, follow up, hit 5 qualified leads, and then you get some bonus leads plus some comp practice. I'll give you some one-on-one training and a gift. How's that? All right,
Sounds
account
good.
sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
All right,
Greg,
go ahead, Luis.
did you say that you wanted these 5 leads on a CRM? Did you say you wanted us to add them in the CRM or just have 5 leads for you?
Yeah, just 5 leads.
Okay.
All right, number one, number of calls made, number of conversions. These are like your KPIs, key performance indicators, number of leads, number of appointments. Let's see here. All right. I am going out in the field uh, for our 1-day boot camp Saturday. You can go to bennettbootcamps.com. Let's see. I am always messing up. What did I do this time? Here we go. You can go to bennettbootcamps.com to sign up. I think it's 197. And so we're gonna meet in Greenbelt. We're gonna talk about what we're gonna look at. We're gonna go over Mayo formula and things like that in the classroom for about an hour. Then we're gonna go look at 3 properties and put everything that we just learned into practice on Saturday morning. And then we're gonna go to Burton's in it's in College Park, Hyattsville, a restaurant called Burton's, and eat lunch all on me, and just go over all of our findings and debrief. And so we start at 9. We should be done by maybe 2 o'clock, I guess. And so it'll be a great morning, early afternoon of learning, both classroom and out in the field. And so if you're interested, you can go to the link, bennettbootcamps.com, or you can contact me. You can send me an email. And we have a coaching program. If you're interested in that, you can always go to GB Schedule, my scheduler, to schedule one-on-one with me to talk about our coaching program. But we hope to see you guys on Saturday to take a lot of what we just talked about and put it into action. We'll talk about more marketing and lead generation on Saturday as well. But we'll go to a couple foreclosed properties that I've found, and then we'll just really evaluate those properties. All right. Any questions, you guys?
No,
Hey,
thank
Greg,
you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, Greg, I would just say for maybe the new investor that's out there, they've been paying attention. They now know that you don't need a lot of money to market. You can have just gas money, or if you have the money, you can pay for leads also. So you've given them just a good kind of universe of different ways to get in front of people.
All right, Joseph, you have a question,
yeah,
comment?
just a quick one for you. So I saw the templates for postcards, but do you have a template for like sending out a letter to let people know that this is what I do now? Like family members or whatever.
Yeah. Can you text me tomorrow or call me tomorrow and I'll send it
Okay.
to you?
Okay. All right.
And then
Thanks a lot.
Keith, we need to make sure, I don't know if you got Joseph on the list for Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, we should. I'll be there. I should be there.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? SA, you have a question for me?
No, but yeah, my question is, why did you single me out when you asked that? Why did you ask me?
If,
Why didn't you ask Michael Corleone or someone else like that? No, it's a good class, man. I'm good. Thank you.
yeah, he's quiet. Michael, you with us? Or you just recording? You with us, Michael? Colini?
Greg, yeah, I'm here, but I was downstairs and I had my speaker down there listening. I was
Okay.
downstairs, but I'm upstairs now.
All right.
I'm over here doing paperwork.
Okay. Okay. All right. And Angela Barnes, I hear you got some good news yesterday. Are you happy about it?
What good news?
You getting ready to go back to work?
Yeah, and we got paid today too.
You got paid?
Yeah, they gave us our pay that we missed.
You got all the back pay today?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Today was Christmas. Wow, that was fast.
Wonderful.
That was something
Hey,
that was owed to us. That was Christmas. It would have been Christmas if they would have put interest on it.
But still,
Absolutely.
they still could have held it up.
Hey Angela, they were giving TSA $10,000 bonuses for showing up. Why didn't get a bonus?
I don't work for TSA. I work for State Department. They're not doing that for regular employees. Because some of them TSA's employees, they was essential. They had to go to work. That's why